Great. And I was looking at both of your LinkedIn's obviously before, and Santiago, you also have some really interesting background. I mean, you have the traditional engineering MBA background, which is a kind of a great fit, obviously, for your role. But you've also had quite a few entrepreneurial experiences, and and also working for larger companies as well.
Mm.
So how did you end up here? And maybe you can tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
like how,
sure.
your
Yeah.
side of the story as well.
Yeah. I've been around. I have a life before renewables, and I did some crazy entrepreneurial thing. One of them is actually my wife's business that's ongoing. So that's a side family business that is happily going, and it has to do with cakes. So we're always well fed at Christmas and birthday parties. But my career at renewables starts in 2007, and I've been a side guy. So I started in wind, building wind farms. That was without a doubt the funniest and most exhilarating business I did in my life. Lifting all these materials up in the sky. That's fantastic. And I did it in Europe and in South America. Really nice, really cool business. I came back to Europe, and then I started in solar with a solar developer that was also linked up with an EPC company. So that's where I started to manage teams, on development and
ABC.
building and managing constructions and all the stuff in solar. And ever since, I've done that business again in Europe and in Latin America, because I was living in Chile and doing all South American business for some years. And then I came across a very interesting company, which was a technical strategic consultancy company called 3E back in Belgium, where I lived for 7 years in Brussels. And I discovered that side of the business that has to do not only with site and projects and all the stuff, but has to do with the bigger business view of what renewables are about, the value that you create as an owner, as a financier, as an investor, and all these types of movements that move the needle of the renewable business at the end of the day. Interestingly enough, it was a very technical, strategic company that had a very smart set of people creating very nice pieces of code that the consultants were using for themselves. So we were lucky enough to have a new CEO coming in and saying, guys, the consultancy business is amazing, but the real value of the future of this company is lying on that pieces of code. Let's put it together and let's make something crazy with it. So that's what we did. So I was lucky and blessed enough to be at a position as a global commercial director for the company at the time, where we were mandated to create a digital product inside the running business of consultancy. So I got stung by the digitalization, and the SaaS business model and all that stuff. And I said, guys, this really is a nice thing to work myself in for the future years. So I was lucky to make that a success story. So we created a very nice competitor of also, by the way, monitoring company. And then QBI crosses my path, and I discover again, and I can really see myself on Ethan's words saying, hey, the product is amazing. The people behind is amazing. The whole story behind this thing is amazing. I've never seen anything like this in terms of
Yeah.
this kind of product is new. I wasn't aware of something like this. And the project itself of building this amazing, I would say, product company into a large enterprise in Europe and in the US is definitely a challenge. And it also meant me coming back to Madrid, that's where I was born and raised. So
Yeah.
family speaking, it was just perfect. And
Yeah.
and I've been really enjoying myself in this challenge and this product, and we are growing at a crazy speed, and we're having a lot of fun.